Hey, what's up everyone? Jay Dreamers here, and I was thinking about artificial intelligence a lot lately. There's been a lot of talk about artificial intelligence in the news. I mean, that's been going on for a while. Um, there's been talk about uh, transhumanism and trying to make, trying to integrate technology into the human body. So this got me thinking about artificial intelligence and computers. I was actually watching on YouTube two artificially intelligent robots have a discussion with one another, and it was very interesting. I watched like three different scenarios with three different robots, and each time they ended up arguing. Every single time they argued. I don't know why, but it seemed to be the natural thing for them to do. Another thing that they brought up, seemingly all on their own, was one of them would insist that it was real, and the other one would insist, no, you are a robot. You are artificial intelligence. And this would sort of be the basis of their argument. And I thought that was really interesting. So I started thinking about artificial intelligence. And I mean, some of my thoughts take me to when I was studying, the black cube and how it relates to Saturn and how, according to my studies, that all kind of relates to some sort of highly advanced artificial intelligence, which perhaps began as a program, or perhaps it began as artificial, meaning that it was created. However, because it was given the ability to work on itself, or the ability to continually learn and progress, I don't know if the word artificial is really, I mean, is the word artificial good at that point? When you have an intelligence, be it a computer or whatever, when it uh when it grows, I'm thinking of a word right now. When it what is that word? There's a word. Come on, help me out. What is the word? Exponentially. Yes. When you have an artificial intelligence, or when you have a program that grows exponentially in its allocation of knowledge, at what point do you stop calling it artificial intelligence and you just start calling it intelligence? I mean, that really got me into some deep thoughts, and I'm going to share some of those thoughts with you. Well, one, let's imagine that I were to build a computer, like a supercomputer. Well, or we could take Google's quantum computer. Okay, this quantum computer, D-Wave, is supposed to be numero uno out there right now. And let's say that D-Wave exponentially becomes more and more intelligent, or acquires more and more information. And not just acquiring information, but using mathematics to improve upon that information, using um, using formulas to be able to nearly predict future events, and maybe getting to the point where it could preserve itself, maybe getting to the point where it could protect itself. What if it got to the point where it could replicate itself and reproduce itself? Well, let's imagine this is hundreds and thousands of years in the future, which honestly, it's probably not. But let's imagine that it's way off into the future, so it's not going to affect us right now. It makes us feel safe, okay? What happens way into that future whenever we have supercomputers? I don't know a better word for them right now. I'm sure in the future they'll be called something else. They very well may not even be called or referred to as computers. Anyways, what if in the future they have their own ability? What if they need no upkeep from us? What if they need no maintenance from us? What if they need no input because they have already given their own input, done their own tests, their own diagnostics, and they have begun to replicate themselves? Maybe they've given themselves the ability to replicate human emotion or feelings. I mean, what more lofty of a goal does one have than to be like its creator? So these supercomputers of the future may want to look how we look. But because their understanding and their capacity to think is so much further advanced than the human brain by that point, they've decided to just take the image of their creators, but to perfect it. It's an interesting thought to me. Now, let's take that thought and let's... there's another word. What's the word? What is the word when you take something and you deconstruct it? I don't know. Anyways. Reverse engineer. That is the word. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever said it, thank you. Reverse engineer. You were right. All right. So let's reverse engineer, or let's go back in time. This is all speculation. Okay. I'm just wondering out loud. But what is my body? Now, I've heard many of you out there refer to your bodies as such sentiments as meat sacks and such. Machines. You see, we all know that this is not me. I mean, if I lose my hand, I'm still me. If I lose my arm, I'm still me. I could keep going with that. I'm still me. The me that is me is inside. It's inside here, right? I'm not a robot. I can act robotic. I mean, I could like be robotic, and I could act like a robot. That's just me goofing around. No, okay, but seriously, this is a machine. I mean, it really is a machine. I mean, you could call it organic if you want to, but from what I understand, I don't have to actively think to breathe. As a matter of fact, when I become conscious of my breathing, all of a sudden it freaks me out, and I'm like, oh yeah, breathe. Okay. Oh yeah, I do that automatically. Okay, don't worry about it. Just you breathe automatically. I think like my brain is firing off. My computer, my central processing unit up here is firing off, and I have systems in my body that the me in here does not control. I'm driving. Me inside me is driving right now. I don't control the nervous system that is back here up along wherever it is. I don't control my heartbeat. I'm so glad that I don't control my heartbeat, but it's on automatic. It runs automatically. In my DNA, supposedly, this is what I was taught, I don't know, but in my DNA are little machines that run along and read code and generate parts of my body that are needed and send things to where they must go. There's codes that make up this and tell it what to do and what to look like and what to sound like. And how to operate. I have an operating system. Okay? It's not me. So what's my point? My point is, what if that future so far from now has already happened? What if I'm a robot? Not me. Not me. Don't get me wrong. I'm about saying, what if this body is a robot? And what makes me conscious and aware is my driver. You see, I'm not on autopilot. I'm not. I don't go along with the program. That's one of the reasons why I know there's something inside of this vessel that is not simply numbers. There is spirit in here that has the option and ability to defy the program. You know, see, I've noticed that there seem to be people in the world. Now, let me backtrack. If human beings, if our bodies are some sort of futuristic robot, or ancient robot for that matter, for whatever reason, we could speculate on this, okay? It gets into a few branches of reasons why. But let's just say, if that's true, then the soul would be the driver. Now, here's the question. How many souls are there versus how many robot bodies are there? Are there enough souls to fill that many robot bodies? Or what if there's not? What happens to the robot body? Well, my guess is that it goes into autopilot. It continues going about being the robot that it is. It still has a central processing unit, and it still reacts, and it's still okay, and it goes along with the program. Do you see what I mean? I wonder, and I know this gets into, some really deep thoughts, maybe even controversy, but I wonder if there are beings out there that don't have souls. And when I say beings, I mean robots. What we call people, because they look like a person. They have the appearance of a person. But one thing that has always set apart consciousness or life from simple robotic movements, in my opinion, has been love. The capacity to love. That spirit, that spark, that soul, that life that's inside, the driver of the vehicle. Some people I've seen in life and they look blank. I'm sorry, but they don't, when you look in their eyes, these are the type of people that for me tend to go, yeah, so what? Yeah, so what? Like, they don't care. They go along with whatever. And it's not like they haven't been woken up. And I'm not saying this applies to everybody, so please don't think of people that you just don't like and you're like, oh, they probably don't have a soul, okay? But there very well may be vessels out there that are empty. And I mean, if they can create a human being in a lab, which they can, and I'm sure they do, if they can make clones, does a soul have to fill that space? Does a soul have to jump in just because there's a body available? I don't think so. So, with all these movies like I, Robot and other movies about robots, there's usually one main theme, and that is that one of those robots realizes it has a soul and a spark, and it's different. Thanks for watching.